We're rolling.
Okay, kids.
Rolling.
Keep those doggies rolling. Yes, Rawhide. Good girl.
It's because I saw it on Blues Brothers. Hi, America. Welcome to Angel and the Wiz.
I rest my case. There we are.
No, because you do that in the Blues Brothers.
Really? I don't. I never. I had a limited, very exposure.
You've never seen the Blues Brothers?
I've seen them, but you have to understand, you're dealing with the one person who had a very unique experience with Saturday Night Live, which meant it became impossible for me to watch Saturday Night Live. Now, I am taking full responsibility for the mistake. It was my mistake. But many years ago, when I had my live show on, those times, okay, I ruled Manhattan, right here on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. It was called Sterling Manhattan then. And we had a period of time when I was the mayor of New York. I mean, I ruled New York. The Wizard was the top, okay? Everybody watched the show. And a gentleman named Ed Feldman came to me and said, listen, I have access to these video cameras, and I want to go out and shoot a pilot. You want to put a script together? So I got my kids together, and we wrote a script, and I handed him the script. And of course, when we wrote characters, we wrote the characters with the kids in it. And when I showed it to him, he says, no, we don't want them. We just want you. Oh, bad for the Wiz. Okay.
No,
okay. So my immediate reaction was, what you see and what you like from me each week
comes from all these.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
It's not just me. Now, he was probably right. I should have just gone with him, and they would have surrounded me with other people. But I'm a hopeless loyalist.
But
I am
that's
loyal
good.
to my friends. And the concept of going and doing that. Well, NBC showed me the beginning of the next season that they didn't need me. They came out with Saturday Night Live, and they stole everything we were doing. Now, let me not say that. They got a guy, Lorne Michaels. He produced the show. They didn't steal what we did because we never just did comedy.
Right.
We did comedy, but we talked about serious stuff too. Because for comedy to be really funny, it needs something to play off of. You got to be serious once in a while. And I think Vincent Price was the only person that ever got them to play some classical music or yes, I'll host the show, but I want a serious segment. You know what I mean? And so, and Saturday Night Live's been on, and it's done all its stuff, and it's done, it's going on and on and on and on. Well, so I could never watch it because, I can show you the video guides, where we were on, what we were doing, okay?
Right.
And it was just zip, zip, and they showed me. And God bless them. I carried them animus for a while, but it's not worth it.
So you've never seen the Blues Brothers movie?
No, I've never seen the Blues Brothers movie. I've seen a part of a sketch one time.
They do the sketch. Yeah, they did the sketch on Saturday Night Live.
And then they turned the sketch into a film.
Yeah.
Okay, so I never saw it. So I never saw it, and
it's one of those movies. Well, I think it's definitely cherished.
Okay.
By those in Chicago.
Right.
Definitely, because it just kind of defined the city atmosphere.
Right.
I don't know.
Captured it.
It just it's just, and then there's just some like weird, unreal car chases, unreal car crash scenes.
Right. It's a comedy. They played it as a comedy.
But the music in it.
Right.
The musicians.
Right.
Were true musicians, and the music that is played, even though you have John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd being the vocals, who are fairly talented, not the best, not a whiz, but they're fairly talented for that style of music.
Right.
But they have surrounded themselves with true musicians.
Right.
And
so they made good music.
Yeah, you really watch the movie
for the music. It was like a long video music.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It's
music
kind of like
video,
that.
sorry.
Yeah. And then of course you have Aretha Franklin in there belting her heart out, and you have James Brown in there, which is awesome, and hilarious at the same time. And it parodies like a true Baptist style church.
Right.
So it's such a good movie to watch.
Ooh, that's something too. I forgot. I didn't say it last week. I think the plan is in The Devil Used to Be. At the end, we have a chorus goes, "The devil used to be," and I think we're going to get a black chorus, choir.
Cool.
Yeah, the devil.
That's really
I mean,
cool.
so it could, listen, it could
That
turn
would be
out.
cool.
But without that person that we talked about last week, it doesn't matter. I'll be here
Right.
for the rest of my life, and I'll be dead and gone.
Hopefully later, rather
Yeah,
than
hopefully later. That would be nice. Be nice. Well, listen, we did get a couple of years
we did
from the last one, so maybe we can get a couple more years. Okay, so now
William Shatner.
I have, and let me now, because we talked about Saturday Night Live, and I'm gonna, part of the story is Bill Murray, and you'd think that would be the segue, but we want to do the segue from the beginning of the story.
Okay.
And so here we go back.
Do I need to take notes?
No.
Okay.
1960, whenever it was, Star Trek starts on TV. Now, William Shatner had played a lot of characters, done a lot of little character roles and stuff like that. Finally, he gets his big break. It's Gunsmoke in Space. It's called Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry, big name. Okay, they're going to make this great show. And he is given the lead of the captain. He's the guy. He is Captain Kirk.
James T. Kirk.
Right. But, unfortunately for William Shatner as Captain Kirk, this show debuts at a time where nothing can touch Spock. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was a time with revolution in the air and all the things that were going on, and Spock, the alien, his character, it lit. It was just like lighting a fuse to a firecracker. Mm-hmm. It exploded. And so here is Captain Kirk, William Shatner, being, he thinks, read on, second fiddle, his show, taken over by this pointy-eared guy.
Right.
Okay, and how can Kirk compete with that? He's got the live long and prosper. He's got the pointy ears. He's a very unique character at a time when the world is in love with the Beatles. It's like very unique.
Right.
They love unique characters. So the show goes on for the second year, gets canceled. The fans revolt. They have a write-in campaign. And the show comes back for 1/3 season. That's all it ever had on TV. It was 3 seasons. Now, during this whole time, and there had to be tension on the set, baby. Okay?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so, because from William Shatner's point of view, this has been stolen from him. Mm-hmm. Now, it wasn't Leonard Nimoy that stole him. He just happened to be the person in that role. Right. Anybody that had that role,
the character of Spock, and it doesn't
right.
matter who
plays him.
Spock.
It just happened to be.
Okay.
So here's William Shatner, and the story gets stolen from him in his mind. Okay, not out there in Trekland, but he doesn't live in Trekland. He lives in the real world. Okay, and so he's dealing with these real things. So time goes on. He goes on. He gets other little vehicles.
And they do all these movies.
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
He has enough success from this to get up, T.J. Hooker and these other little. He gets to be starred in these other shows. Blah blah. Radically characters, radically different, but still a man in charge. So he's still the captain. He's still the captain. Right. Okay. So Star Wars hits, and Paramount, who is no fool, says, wow. Mm-hmm. We got all these Trekkies that are going to conventions still, years later. Let's make them a movie. So they get back the cast from season 3. Those are the ones we know, season 3. Okay? You're her and Chekhov and Sulu and Scotty and all that stuff like that. And and they do the film. Now, William Shatner is brought back as Captain Kirk, and Leonard Nimoy is brought back as Spock. And Spock is still Spock, and there's nothing you can do about it. And Captain Kirk is still Captain Kirk. And
also this, I just want to say that Captain Kirk was really cute. William Shatner was a hottie back then.
Okay, so
just saying. I'd rather date William Shatner than Spock.
Okay, so they're going there. Yeah, I know he's got his shirt off. Okay, and so they go through these years now of making all these films, and then Leonard Nimoy directs a couple, and the one, the Voyage Home, was the quintessential Star Trek movie, and of course, who was it directed by? Leonard Nimoy. It was the perfect Star Trek movie. Then William Shatner tries to direct the next one. It doesn't have quite the same success. So what we have here is this and for those of you that are paying attention, if you'll notice, William Shatner starts to grow. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's because of alcohol or food, but when you're not getting satisfaction some way, you find a way to get it. Yes. You must have it, okay? And so he starts to blow up, and he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and when they go to do the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek, where they're really basing it on the earlier stories of the original crew that we know, which was a fantastic film, a great film.
Wait, so you're talking now about the Star Trek that was directed by J.J. Abrams?
Yes, the two new ones, okay? So now we've gone through all the others, and Shatner, Captain Kirk dies in one, and stuff like that. Okay.
Right. Okay. Because at some point they started doing Star Trek new TV shows, and then they took the characters from the new TV shows and made them into. I'm just trying to. I'm not a Trekkie, so I'm trying to follow along.
I got you. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. Okay, so now we get to the J.J. Abrams first flick, and all of the original cast helps in the film, but Kirk. Okay. And I think they wanted him, but he had moved along. Well, now what? Now wait. Okay. Okay. Well, I just want to be careful because, and you find this out when you watch the special features that were included in it.
I heard that, or I read in a magazine or something that they wanted to incorporate William Shatner into the first remake. Right. But the problem was that he had died. Right. So it's like how. Then there became a challenge.
This is science fiction. Let me tell you something.
Well, yeah, but I think they just said, how can we
because they were going before. The death never happened. All of these J.J. Abrams movies happened before. Right. Okay, so there was no conflict.
So
I think that was the cover story.
But I was just like, well, okay. So.
Okay, so, because that doesn't apply because it happened way before.
And I think that maybe William Shatner was. Like you said, done.
Well, let me
go ahead.
Let me explain it to you because that's
why this is. Wise Trekkie.
That's why this is. Well, I'm not a Trekkie guy.
Are you sure?
But I came upon this.
Okay.
And it warmed my heart. So
baby.
Much. Okay. Now, so remember, this is a sad story up till now.
Yeah.
Here's a guy, and when he would go to the conventions and they would call out to him, "Beam me up, Scotty," he always thought they were making fun of him. He always thought they were laughing at him. He never realized what he was about to realize. Okay? So, J.J. Abrams does his film. Leonard Nimoy's in it. Shatner's on it. Okay, great. But right after that, for whatever reason, they got Shatner to do a special show called Captains, DVD called Captains, where he goes and he interviews all of the captains that have been portrayed. And Captain Picard, I forget the name of the gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I know who you're talking about.
Forgive me, I don't know his name, and I should have.
Professor X.
I should have looked it up before I came on, but so here he goes. He's done all of these interviews. Right. He flies to England to interview Captain Picard, John, whatever his name is. And during the course of their conversation, Jesus, this is beautiful. Okay, William Shatner's sitting here, Picard is sitting here, and Picard, who's played Shakespeare and all of these wonderful roles that William Shatner would have died to have, says to William Shatner, he says, "Do you know, with all the roles that I've played," and he talks about Shakespeare and this and everything, he says, "I realized that what I'm going to be remembered for was Captain Picard. And that's just fine." And here's William Shatner sitting over there, and the light turns on. And he looks at him and he says, "Do you realize that just now you have made me understand this incredible gift I have had all these years, and never, they weren't saying, beam me up, Scotty. They were saying, you know what I mean? They were saluting him.
Yeah.
They were, and then he says something about, and Picard says, yeah, it's been 45 years. He said, so it's unbelievable. And William Shatner, and I've noticed in his commercials now, for whatever. Priceline. He's going down.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that epiphany that happened, and you get to watch it. If you can see this, the DVD called Captains, and you can see it, and it's such a wonderful, wonderful. He didn't appreciate. He was looking out here when he had the world.
Right. Yeah.
He had always been the only man in the universe to be Captain Kirk. And as great as Spock is, what was never connected for William Shatner was that these were buddy movies. Mm-hmm. It was never just Spock. It was always, you had to have the balance. You had to have the captain and the science officer. You had to have them both. That's
you had to have emotion and you had to have logic.
Yes, you needed them both.
You need that yin and yang,
yeah.
and that's what they were.
So I thought that was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, carry this forward to Bill Murray. I'm watching Bill Murray the other day on this interview, and I don't know how many of you are familiar with Gene Wilder. I don't know. I guess most of you have. Okay.
I know who he is.
Okay, familiar.
He played the original.
He was the producers. Okay, he was the accountant and the producers.
Didn't he play the original Willy Wonka?
Yes.
But and he was a comic.
But the point that I'm going to try and make now is this: when Gene Wilder came to the movie with Mel Brooks, the producer, the character that Gene Wilder would be for the rest of his life did not exist. The character grew in the movie of the producers. And then, for the rest of his career, that's the character he played. Okay? Now, let's travel forward. Here's Bill Murray. I was watching Bill Murray get interviewed, and the first thing this guy says to me, he says, you were in this great film, Where the Buffalo Roam, and he says, don't talk about it, just pass. Okay? Well, I'm going to share something with you, and Bill, if you're watching, this is a William Shatner moment for you. With all the stuff that Bill Murray did on Saturday Night Live, when he made the movie Where the Buffalo Roam, he's supposed to be Hunter Thompson, he's really playing Bill Murray. The Bill Murray character that will resurface time again when he does his best work. Now, and it showed up in the Aquatica and things like that, and Lost in Translation, to me, was lost. Okay, got an Academy nomination.
I think that was him trying to not be Bill Murray.
Yeah, well, right, and he succeeded, and hence it was horrible. Okay, so he does not accept the fact that his public, the people that love you, Bill, love you in Where the Buffalo Roam. That's the quintessential Bill Murray. It's the perfect Bill Murray. And you know, when you see the best of Bill Murray, that's the character he's doing. Two films that are totally missed, that are not totally missed, but do not have the stature that they one day will. The first one is Scrooged, the perfect Christmas Carol movie for the TV generation. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely perfect. And Bill Murray is absolutely perfect. And you will see shades of Where the Buffalo Roam in his character throughout the film. And another film that he does, and it's just, these were not, like Where the Buffalo Roam was a small budget film, and you don't want to talk about it. His loss. People love him in it because he was great in it. He brought happiness to the people. Bill, that's what it's about. Bringing happiness to the people home. If they want to talk about Where the Buffalo Roam, don't tell them no, you don't want to talk about it. And if Hunter Thompson didn't like the way you portrayed him, you know what? Hunter's gone. You're not. You were great in it. And if he didn't understand it, that it was a comedy, okay? Whoa, that's okay. But you and I, who lived the life that you played in that movie and have lived that life, okay, we know that your portrayal of it was absolutely true because I'm still living it, and that's what it is, okay? But in the other movie, that was probably still not a big budget film, but is a tremendous vehicle because Bill Murray is just perfect in it, is The Man Who Knew Too Little. It's a takeoff on an Alfred Hitchcock film called The Man Who Knew Too Much. Okay, where a child gets stolen and spies and all this stuff. Well, in this movie, he's the man who knows too little. He doesn't realize what's happening around him. Mm-hmm. And it is outstanding. And whether the Academy cares about it or not, Scrooged, Where the Buffalo Roam, and The Man Who Knew Too Little are the 3 best films you ever did as Bill Murray. I don't know about those other films, but I am telling you that from the people out here who watch you and love you, who you make laugh, who you cheer up when they need a helping hand, those are the 3 films they watch. I watch Where the Buffalo Roam every Super Bowl because of that bit you do about the Super Bowl. It is the funniest thing. I mean, it is just the funniest single bit. If I was NBC or if I owned the Super Bowl one year, I would run that bit either at halftime or before the show begins because it is just ozono finale or whatever. I mean, it's just, and sure, there's some drug humor in it, but it would be appreciated now. Mm-hmm. You know, you can get away with a little bit more of that. It is anyway, I don't want to, what time is it? Okay. I'm not trying to rave on. I'm just trying to tell you.
But you're doing a good job, rave on.
William, look at 2 Bills. Isn't that funny? Here's Bill Shatner, who didn't appreciate that people loved him. Loved him. You're Captain Kirk. Nobody in the universe, not in the world, nobody in the universe can be Captain Kirk but you. Wow. Okay? And Bill, the pleasure that you bring to people in Where the Buffalo Roam, and in The Man Who Knew Too Little, and in Scrooge. Scrooge is a quintessential, it's probably the best Charles Dickens film, contemporary rework. Okay, a lot of people have done, you know, they all do that. This was one that went in and brought it forward. Impeccable. Great film. So, that's my 2 cents. And I'm telling you from a guy who has cancer, okay, and is fighting cancer right now. Not like some people, but my little battle. You know, if you can make people laugh and you can touch their heart, you can't do more than that. You can't bring them more than that, okay? You just can't do it. And for you, William Shatner, I hope you lose that weight and you go back down. And I hope you're in the stinking Star Trek 3 somehow. You do a cameo and go be with those kids because every single person on that set looks up to you. And they would love to look up to you and make you feel whole. Put those demons to bed, you know. Beam me up, Scotty. Okay, so this week's song is Trying to Get to Heaven, and I am trying to get to heaven.
I think you're doing a pretty darn good job. I mean, because I don't know if I'm going to go to heaven. You think, well, I was in the middle of Mass, and I intentionally hit the nun with my flute, so...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's...
I don't think that gets held against you. I think that's one of those peripherals.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a nun. It was Sister Janet. You know, I'm like,
Why did you hit her, bad girl?
Because I was in the middle of playing my solo, and she told me I was out of tune and I should stop.
In front of people?
In the middle of Mass! And so...
But why didn't she make sure you were in tune?
So when we finished this... When it was time for my solo to end and hers to start... Right. I went, whoop,
oh, you bad girl.
And hit her violin, so she went,
that's girl stuff. That girl stuff happens. I can't blame you for that.
And then after, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Sister Jan, my flute slipped. Anyway, so, I don't know, it was a nun. It's like the closest female to God, aside from being the mom of the Pope.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
What?
I have been surrounded by angels my whole life, and
God,
none of them have worn black robes. They've been just normal people that you would look at and talk to and never even know. But if you talk to them and talk to them, you would be able to tell by the things they say just how
good-hearted we
how
are.
good-hearted they are, how you know,
how awesome we are.
yeah, the point is, pardon me. Oh wow, we have to think about. Well, we have 20 seconds to get out. Anyway, I hope I didn't rant and rave too much.
You were fine.
But I care about both of those guys. I want them to have happiness in their lives. I want them to be appreciative of the gift that they've been given by the people. The people love you, and you know, sometimes people go through their whole life, they want to do something else, but they're known for that. Enjoy what you're known for.
Bye, America. Do something good every day and volunteer at your local animal shelter.
Yes.
Bye.
Well, you know. Walking down on Main Street where the music never plays, I've searched to find a key of gold to ease my pain. But the angels tried to warn me, do I heed their cry? And try to get to heaven on time. But with trouble all around me, I fall deeper into night, searching for that key of gold I'm told will make it right. But it looms its head before me with an awesome chain of gold, and I see it so hard and cold. So what did I know of love before you came my way? That I was just a lonely boy who was lost and afraid. Now with sunshine on my shoulder, it's not hard to keep alive. There's treasure all around me when I hear the music rhyme, and the choir softly lifts us to a higher plane of life, trying to get to heaven on time. Oh, what did I know of love before you came my way? I was just a lonely boy who was lost and afraid. So all that gold remains there for the fools who see its charm, and the pirates and the gambling man. For me, I'm moving on, 'cause I found a better reason and a place where love is fine. Trying to get to heaven on time. Trying to get to heaven on time. Trying to get to heaven on time.
Written and sung by The Wizard.